Hey everyone, and welcome to Event Planning 101. Sarah Garrow here. Uh, you've probably heard from me several times by now, but in the off chance that you haven't, I do an introduction in the second video. But I hope that I've at least had the opportunity to meet most of you in person, or at least have a conversation or an email with you. I serve as the direct liaison or contact for the Office of Alumni Affairs and all of our alumni chapters and network programs nationwide. So we're going to jump right into it. So our event planning considerations, if you're following along in your handbook, we're going to be looking at starting on page 26. So with event planning, I think as you all know, timing is everything. So it's thinking through if you're in Charlotte, maybe 5:30 isn't a great time because 5 o'clock traffic is awful. So it's really just trying to be considerate and thinking through every aspect that could impact your event and trying to be a little bit proactive in your planning. So what we've done is also in your leadership handbook on page 45, we've created a event planning guideline worksheet where you would simply just fill all this information out and ask kind of those probing questions on, is the event a paid event? Are you requesting materials from the university or a university representative to be there? And also thinking through your social media and email campaigns, budget information, just to kind of get you pre-planning the things that could be coming your way in terms of an event. Read the room and the audience. This is huge because if you're trying to do a program or an event that maybe you feel really passionately about, but it's not as successful because there's not other people in your area that are interested in it, sometimes that hurts, right? Like it's not great to host events, and it happens all the time where you host something and you put a lot of time and effort into it and no one shows up. Happens to me more than I would like to admit. But just read the room and know your audience. Sometimes it is better to just survey and ask, and we'll go over that a little bit later. But just reading into kind of your space and your alumni, especially if you are in an area maybe that has a non-traditional age range of alumni. So you have a lot of younger alumni, but a lot of also older alumni. Where can we bridge that gap? How can we meet in the middle in terms of activities that either they would both like to do, or just making sure that you're being fair and including both of them, or rotating. Publishing your calendar of events as far out as possible. So you know, the earlier you get dates on people's calendars, the better participation you're going to have from alumni, but also the better rapport you're going to be able to build with your event venue. So being able to contact them early and say, hey, here's our plan. It has a positive interaction and spin on not only Appalachian, but your ability to plan and be thoughtful. And venues really, really value that. So the more information that you can give them, the sooner, the better. And also just establishing a relationship with the venue or with your catering staff or any of the other parties involved, especially if you're using rental companies or just anyone in the area that you think could be a potential contact later down the road, or you want to continue to use their venue bar for future events, making sure that it's just a positive interaction for all that are involved. I would also highly encourage you to seek out alumni-owned establishments. If you need a local contact or a list, please reach out to me. I am always happy to connect you with local businesses in your area, and if I don't know of any, we will survey and find out. There's no better way in supporting Appalachian than supporting fellow alumni, and if we can do that at a bar or just with an event space, I'm always so happy to do that. You've all probably heard this phrase, champagne on a PBR budget. So just thinking through in terms of your event planning, your budget allocation, making sure that you have enough funds in your allocated accounts to cover any expenses, and also just understanding you don't always have to give free food or free drinks for people to come to events. So just kind of thinking about being able to stretch the dollar farther. And I think Tammy talked about that a little bit earlier in the program, but just kind of being mindful of, how can we maybe look at free programming to make sure that we save enough money for spring programming, and just kind of being thoughtful in terms of the money. So next we're going to think through event promotion. So you've got a date picked out, you've got a venue because you had a great relationship with maybe Angry Ales who you've been going to for years, but you've got it nailed down and you're really, really excited about this upcoming event. So what do you do to get the word out? So the power of peer-to-peer engagement and personal invitations, don't ever underestimate that. Even if it's something as simple as going through on a Facebook event page and inviting your own personal friends who maybe aren't on the chapter or network Facebook group. You never know who you're going to get. And if you do that, let's say you invite 10 people from your own personal list every event and you end up getting like 3 or 4 of them, then they'll continue to do that. And you'll just kind of have this domino effect of people who are wanting to come to your events and hang out. And it is so much easier when you get people to hang out with you that want to hang out with you, right? So if you're already friends with people, it's not that difficult to just invite them and say, hey, why don't you come out and check out our chapter event or our network program that we have going on this week? I think you'd really enjoy it. And it doesn't always have to be app alumni. I know that's kind of the population that we serve, but friends of the institution are always welcome. Anyone who is willing and excited to wear black and gold, and I mean the real black and gold, not the Wake Forest ugly gold. I mean the black and yellow of Appalachian, we will welcome them at any event. So start reaching out, get out there, reach new people, and get them excited to come out. You'll also need to submit the online event form, which I know that Chad mentioned earlier through our office, but the event form, just so that you can see it, it's at alumni.appstate.edu/event form. So it's just an online form through iModules. So you'll log in using your Gold Book information and you'll fill it out with all of your stuff. Say what chapter affiliation you're with. I'll say Fayetteville this week. My college that I'm affiliated with, if anything else. So marching band, Yosef Club, anything like that. We'll go through and submit this. This is me. What's my email, of course. But what this does is it allows us to know what events you all have coming up, and it allows us to also look at opportunities in the area for either university officials to come and join you, or for us to send an email out to alumni in your area to say, hey, we wanted to let you know about this great opportunity that Tamara is working on down in Fayetteville that we think would be a great event for you to go to. So you'll go through, fill out all of the venue information, address. Sometimes if you have a graphic for the venue, I know that Megan does a great job up in New York of getting one of the bars up there to have a special Appalachian tailored menu. So sometimes we put that up as a graphic. So just be creative in terms of not just sending us maybe a photo of the establishment or just a picture of beer, but really think about, are there opportunities where we could have some co-branding on this image and this graphic, because we're going to email it out to people in your area. So once we receive that online event form, we ask that you submit it 2 weeks before your event, just so that we have time to build the email in our system. And we only schedule 2 emails to be sent a day. So I want to make sure that you have time to get your event out at least once, and sometimes more than once, to either let folks know that it's happening or to get ticket sales and revenue kind of sorted out. But again, we'll send those email invitations on your behalf. We'll also add your event to our Alumni Association calendar that's on our homepage. And we'll also promote your event on the Alumni Affairs social media accounts. But you should also be taking that information and putting it on your social media accounts. So whether it's an event page or you're posting stories on Instagram, just finding out maybe how you reach people in your area. And it can be as simple as looking at your alumni demographics of who's coming to your event. So maybe if it's a younger crowd, you look at maybe doing more Instagram stories or Facebook story posts, whereas I think maybe older generations tend to have the Facebook page and utilize the events function through that online community. So it is the day after the event. You had a great time. You met someone new. You rotated through the check-in table. You've already sent Sarah a picture of the sign-in sheet. So now what do, right? Like, that's not it. You don't just start planning the next event. You think about maybe what went right. What could have gone better? Did we get the invitation out in time? Also looking at the sign-in sheet. Did we have anyone new? Did you connect with someone new? And if so, maybe it's personal follow-up. Maybe it's sending a quick email or connecting on LinkedIn or sending a quick Facebook message just to say, hey, had a great time last night. Thanks so much for coming. Here's our next event, or here's a list of our upcoming events for the fall or spring semester. Just reconnecting with them so that they know that someone paid attention to them being there and appreciated kind of them making the effort to come. If you love to write handwritten notes, let me know. I'm happy to order you some network or chapter stationery specific to your group that you can write a little handwritten note, drop it in the mail. I know that that seems kind of old school, but I love getting letters. So if, especially in today's time when it feels like we get like 30 emails a day and we're kind of desensitized to the electronic communication, maybe a little personal follow-up postcard or letter would be much appreciated. Again, that internal contact list, making sure that you're getting me a picture of it, but also making sure that you're updating your own internal contact list. So on that contact list, you can ask for, hey, do we need to update your contact information? Have you gotten a new email address? And making sure that you identify one person on your leadership board to always update that information, because what good is an internal contact list that is not current? It is no good. Again, just reflecting as a board, maybe just sending out a survey and saying, hey, team, how do we feel about the event tonight? Did we think the venue was good? What could have been better? You know, what are we looking for in the future? Is this a quote unquote, not a remake because this isn't a Pinterest board, but is this an event that we're going to try again? And moving forward, you know, thinking through, was it a time situation? And then too, the power of asking. So not being afraid to ask attendees at your event what they want to do in the future. Especially maybe if you're noticing that you're not having great attendance, we can send a survey out from our office saying, hey, what are you interested in? What would work best for you? What nights of the week are great? Are you looking to get involved? So just send me an email and I'm happy to, I have the survey already written. We can definitely tailor it to your area and kind of, you know, alumni clientele. But the hard work's already done. So again, there is a lot of power in asking. So some other event etiquette, just to be kind of mindful or cognizant of moving forward, the term door prizes versus raffles. So door prizes, we are completely fine with. We are able to send you prizes to give away. However, when you use the term raffles, it kind of implies that there was an exchange of money or it's like a game of chance, like someone paid you for a raffle ticket. And that is not allowed by our accounting team. So please, in any kind of publications or print materials or even event notifications, avoid using the term raffles. Again, door prizes, completely okay, but raffles is where we get into kind of some trouble. Alcohol guidelines, yeah, don't make alcohol always the focal point of your event. I think sometimes it can send the wrong message, and we know that alcohol is important, especially as a social catalyst. However, maybe focusing on the community that comes with the alcohol. So thinking through maybe how you can strategically brand, we're going to get together for fellowship and talk about Mountaineer football and how much we love Appalachian. And we might have a beer instead of let's get 3 beers and maybe talk about App. So just thinking through kind of the appropriateness of the information that you're putting forward and knowing that you are always representing Appalachian in addition to yourself and the Alumni Association. Board t-shirts, because who doesn't want to match your board members on an event night? It is so fun. If you're interested in board t-shirts, let me know. We are happy to have them made for you and help you with the design phase. I'm going to be honest, it does take about 1 to 2 months for the completion of ordering artwork, approval, until they are in my office and ready to be delivered. So just be mindful of that. It does take some time, so it's not something that we can really make happen in a short window. But if that is something that you're interested in, please reach out to me and I'm happy to talk more about it. Actually, Chicago, who's in this picture, they have some really, really cute shirts with Yosef walking through downtown Chicago. So if that interests you or you need some ideas in terms of artwork, let me know and I'm happy to help. But again, you know, events are fun. It takes a lot of pre-planning, but it also takes a lot of kind of mindful follow-up, especially with people. So don't forget that. Don't forget to check on your board members and just asking, hey, what do y'all want to do? What kind of events would be exciting for you this week? Or, you know, what are you thinking about in May? What's your favorite outdoor concert or music in the park that you go to? And just really finding out what your board members enjoy doing and then just kind of tying it into their lives, right? So then it doesn't seem like it's a hassle for them to host an event, because that's what we're doing, right? We want to empower other people to host and to take on more of a leadership role. And when we know a lot about people, it's a little bit easier to do that. So if you have any other questions about events, I love events. I've been an event planner for a majority of my professional career. So if you have any questions, please let me know. It's a little hard to talk about events in this capacity because it really is so individualistic with the chapter or the network program based on your alumni demographics, where you are, what we have to worry about in terms of parking. So please reach out to me. I'm happy to pass along some success stories. We have a ton of them. You all are doing amazing things. And so I'm also hoping that maybe on the call in a couple weeks on Thursday, we can talk about some things that are working really, really well for some of our chapters that can be adapted or adopted for some other folks. So look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. And in the meantime, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Yeah, hope you're enjoying the conference. You're almost done. I think I might be second to the last. So live it up, grab another cup of coffee or beverage of choice. And thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate you.